On 31 March 2025, the Supreme Court of Papua New Guinea delivered a landmark ruling that sent shockwaves through the nation's political landscape. The court declared that the Parliamentary Committee's rejection of a no-confidence motion against Prime Minister James Marape was unconstitutional. This decision stemmed from the committee's November 2024 refusal to entertain the opposition's motion, which sought to replace Marape with Sir Peter Ipatis as Prime Minister. The crux of the matter lay in the committee's interpretation of parliamentary procedure. They cited Standing Order 165, which prohibits the reintroduction of similar motions within a 12-month period. The committee argued that the opposition's motion mirrored a previous one from September 2024, which had nominated Rainbow Paita as an alternative prime minister. However, the opposition countered this assertion. They maintained that the two motions were distinct because they proposed different candidates for the role of prime minister. This difference, they contended, rendered Standing Order 165 inapplicable in this instance. The Supreme Court ultimately sided with the opposition, finding the committee's decision to be in violation of fundamental constitutional principles. The court meticulously outlined the specific sections of the Constitution that were infringed upon. This included Section 111, which guarantees the right to reintroduce motions, and Section 50, 1E, which safeguards the right to participate in parliamentary proceedings. Furthermore, the court found the committee's actions to be in breach of Section 142, 5, and Section 145, which pertain to the procedures for removing a sitting Prime Minister. This ruling served as a stark reminder of the supremacy of the Constitution over parliamentary standing orders. It underscored that while parliamentary procedure is essential for the orderly conduct of business, it cannot supersede the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. The court's decision was a victory for the opposition and a significant affirmation of democratic principles in Papua New Guinea. It sent a clear message that adherence to the Constitution is non-negotiable even within the hallowed halls of Parliament. The heart of the PNG Parliament drama lies in the clash between parliamentary procedure and constitutional rights. The Parliamentary Committee, in rejecting the opposition's no-confidence motion, prioritised Standing Order 165 over the constitutional rights of parliamentarians to introduce motions and participate in the democratic process. This decision, as highlighted by the Supreme Court, had significant implications for the balance of power and the upholding of democratic principles in Papua New Guinea. The committee's justification for their decision rested on the premise that the opposition's motion was a rehash of a previous one, thus violating Standing Order 165. They argued that this order was in place to prevent the unnecessary repetition of motions and ensure the efficient functioning of Parliament. However, the opposition countered this argument by highlighting the distinct nature of their motion. They emphasized that nominating a different alternative Prime Minister constituted a significant difference, rendering Standing Order 165 inapplicable in this instance. The Supreme Court, in its ruling, provided a detailed analysis of the constitutional provisions that were breached by the committee's actions. They emphasized that Section 111 of the Constitution explicitly grants parliamentarians the right to reintroduce motions subject to certain conditions. In this case, the court found that the opposition's motion met these conditions and should not have been dismissed based on Standing Order 165. Moreover, they highlighted the importance of Section 50, 1E, which guarantees the right of parliamentarians to participate freely in parliamentary debates and decision-making processes. The court's decision to overturn the committee's rejection of the no-confidence motion was a victory for the opposition and, more importantly, for the Constitution itself. It served as a potent reminder that parliamentary standing orders, while important for procedural order, cannot override the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. The ruling underscored the delicate balance that must be maintained between procedural efficiency and the protection of democratic principles. New Guinea's democratic institutions.